Like, we going in, son. When he's coming down from the roof and he getting down and he getting busy, he getting active with them niggas, yeah. Like, that's...
Nigga fucking right.
Monkey D. Goofy. D. Goofy. You're slobbering this bad guy.
Why would they do that, bro?
Bro, because it's getting you ready, don't you? Yeah, no! I think we all knew this day was coming. You saw my reactions to the trailers. What is good, y'all? It's your boy T-Rav once again. I'm here, and as you can tell by the gel, I got another movie review. It's The Batman. So before I get into all of the madness that took place on this night, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff, let me know how you felt about the movie. And let's go ahead and hop into it. I will say this. Let's get the elephant out the room right now. Movie too goddamn long, okay? If I was to have one critique of this movie, it was a bit long in the tooth, but there was a whole lot of things that I really liked about this movie. And I think that some of the extra fluff that's in it is literally just camera shots focusing on certain characters to really add the dramatic effect, let the OST build even more. That's another thing. Shout out to this OST. That shit was ridiculous, dog. Even Batman sounded like his freaking theme was basically mixed in with the funeral march thing. Like, what are we talking about? This dude had dark violin strings playing over his theme music too. Even just like really. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay? So this movie opens sick because you're getting a good look at Gotham. And it's more of like how obviously we know New York is or whatever, right? But this is a Batman that's way more grounded, dog, because you're seeing, you know, chaos is happening out in the streets. Crime is up. Obviously, it's Gotham. Normal shit. It's a normal Tuesday in Gotham, right? Obviously, corruption is running rampant. All the families are still doing their business, doing their work, operating just like normal, and election days coming up, all that stuff for mayor and all that, right? But Batman has stepped on the scene and he's already making his waves, but he's monologuing over it as we're getting into the movie, right? Because he's having to select and pick his targets because he's going through the city and he's seeing all types of atrocities just being committed everywhere, but he literally just has to pick and choose who he's gonna go after and what's necessary, because he can't be everywhere at once. But you see certain people breaking the law and then they look off into a dark corner and he's talking about, I am the fear, I am a warning. It's like, dog, he's having to go, he's making himself go extra hard when he goes out into the field, that just even putting that seed of doubt, putting that little nugget of fear, like, oh, this nigga could be around here somewhere, he could just step out from behind the corner somewhere. Like, that's the effect that he's having on half of these criminals. But obviously those is just scrubs for the most part. The people who's really running the show as of right now in this movie, it's like Penguin, but Penguin is working for Falcone, and Falcone was the person who took over after Maroni got busted. And Maroni, I guess there was a huge drug bust that took place. We don't get to see that in this movie. He's already locked away or whatever. But people have stepped in to fill the vacuum, and Falcone is the main one who really stepped up and took charge. But this movie focuses on the Riddler. Now let me say this. Riddler comes out hard in this movie, son. So hard. This dude, okay, because he's really going through straight up serial killer status, because we see the news, obviously, and it's showing like a replay a little bit of the election going on, and this guy is arguing hardcore with this lady who's soon to be the mayor, and she's gonna win the race or whatever. But all of a sudden you see this nigga in a mask and he's back behind homie, and dude is just on the phone talking to his wife or whatever, having a drink, normal stuff. Has no idea this dude's in the house, and he's literally like right behind him. And he's walking back and forth doing his normal shit. and then all of a sudden he gets his ass. And dog, it's like, it's brutal. It's sloppy. It's not like super clean. The dude who took him down ain't got no strength. That's what Riddler is, dog. He's not someone with all the physical strength, but he starts systematically laying out the clues, and he's releasing videos at the same time to the police and to the Batman. He's literally leaving letters on his victims to the Batman so he can piece what's going on together. And Riddler's whole thing is that he's just trying to expose the corruption going on in Gotham, whether it's through the political system and structure, because he targets a senior police officer who was one of Jim Gordon's old partners and stuff like that. He goes after the DA, he goes after the mayor. Like, this is the victims that he's been going after, and then eventually it culminates to him going after Bruce Wayne, obviously. And Riddler's a smart guy, so you can obviously imagine what he's figured out and what he's trying to do. But this movie, it focuses on showing how Batman is right now. He's still so fresh that he doesn't really see any gray in the situation. It's pure black and white. If like you got any type of hint of corruption about you, I'm done with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. And he really carries that mode with him throughout the entire movie, pretty much until closer towards the end, when a couple things happen and it kind of gives him a change of mindset. And that's the biggest thing that kind of challenges him in this movie, and his internal conflict is to find out, because Riddler exposes it, that even Thomas Wayne was somewhat involved in the corruption going on in Gotham City and actually paid somebody and paid Falcone to scare a witness or whatever to something that he was involved with. And Alfred's gonna talk about he had no idea he would kill him. Alfred, come on. I know you love the family, dog, but that's not real, man. Like, there's no way. That's not real. That's not, you're smarter than that. Okay, let's just put it like that. You're smarter than that. But Riddler is, to say that this thing is 2 steps ahead, don't even do it justice. He is like 3 steps ahead, and he's really laying out these ciphers and all these puzzles that he's put on people, because he literally taped a thing to one of his victims and it had a bunch of rats in it, and obviously the rats had to find their way through the maze. But he's printed in like ciphers and all types of hidden encoded messages, and it is really cool in this movie, pretty much more than any other Batman movie that I've seen. Like, from what I can recall, we go the most detective mode in this movie. We really get to see the detective side of Batman. Now, this is where I'm curious and I'm interested to see what the people think, because do you like that? Because in this movie, that is a reason why we got such a long runtime, because literally every single victim that he's coming across, he's going back and forth with Jim Gordon, and he's going through and he's looking at things and he's asking questions, he's interrogating people. Like, it's a whole detective thing that he's going through. Because like I said, this Batman he's pure fresh, but obviously it seems like his detective skills is already well on point at this time. But there's other things that let you know that he's not on the job. He even admits in the very beginning in his monologue that he's only been 2 years on the job. I feel like a nocturnal animal now. It's like he's really been diving into this, and his reputation now is that of a recluse. And then Alfred keeps like poking him about it, talking about when Mr. Wayne's gonna make an appearance. You know, it's like, you need to see the investors and all this. And you know, Bruce is literally willing to throw away all that stuff at this point, which in a sense is like, it's the most honorable thing, because you know, Thomas Wayne clearly was much more preoccupied with his image and things like that to even go and ask a person like Falcone to help him. Okay, now that's just, I don't really feel like you can excuse that. Yeah, he helped him out and he actually saved Falcone's life one time, which is a cool fact that we didn't know and was super enlightening to us. But okay, so let me go ahead and get it out the way, because what was also dope is that, I don't know if, like, I just never knew this, but I didn't know that Martha's family was the Arkham family. Like, what? Like, that is crazy. That's huge news. And the reason why, you know, Thomas had to end up paying money to Falcone was because a reporter or somebody, some deadbeat reporter who was actually in Maroni's pocket, I believe, or in Falcone's pocket, either way, I'm not sure which, as of right now, but he had the information that basically told the world that Martha's parents, well, her mother killed her father and then killed herself when she was really little or a baby or something like that. It's really wild. It's really, really wild. So just having even that dirt and that, you know, stain of reputation even linked towards the Waynes was going to take away any chance that he had at being the mayor and things like that. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know because, you know, Bruce even goes to he goes to Falcone and he asks him about it and he confronts him and everything, all that. But only come to find out that, oh, it's Maroni who did it. But then he goes and he questions Alfred later and he makes it seem like Falcone's the one who did it. So you really do feel like it's Falcone because really Maroni's nowhere in the picture of this movie. And you can just see that Falcone is a greasy ass motherfucker. Shout out to that actor. He's actually a bad boy. All right, I have to give her props where props is due. All right, and shout out to the man who played Jim Gordon, Jeffery Wright. Shout out to you, son. A dope Jim Gordon. Because that's the other thing that you can clearly tell in this Batman movie is that Bruce really takes the most influence in his life and how he approaches his job now from Jim Gordon and then from Alfred. Because Alfred's the one over here in the background periodically, like, he's the one cracking these ciphers and stuff like that and actually giving them the clues and, you know, Riddler's leaving things in Spanish and little riddles and things like that. Funny ass scenes with Penguin. I'm not gonna lie. Penguin was straight jokes. He was really funny. They kind of made him like a bitch, but he's not really Penguin yet. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, people are just calling him Ozzy or whatever. So that's what that is there. And they allude at the very end of the movie that he's gonna be, you know, looking to elevate himself. So I am definitely looking forward to that and all that they're gonna set up. But let me get to Falcone, man. Because Falcone was extra greasy. And he, turns out, is actually the father to Selena. Like, who would have imagined that? Now, it is pretty crazy that her involvement in this whole underground scene is because of a nigga like Falcone. But Falcone knew of his relationship with her. Well, actually, he didn't. He really didn't. Did he? Because Selena makes it seem like he knew that she was actually his daughter. But she kind of confronts him towards the end of the movie, and he kind of acts like he's unaware. But I'm going to just say that he did know, but he was just like trying to keep up the act and was like, you know, I'm not going to say that I actually know her until she says something about it. Because he does say, on my own flesh and blood. Yeah, so it's definitely her dad and everything like that. But it's wild, man. It's wild because, you know, she ended up becoming an orphan or whatever because after her mother was found strangled by you-know-who, we come to find out later that it was Falcone who actually did it. But she gets sent off into the system. She comes back into play because one of her best friends gets taken and killed by a dirty cop in Kinsey. And so that's kind of her struggle throughout the movie is not only she's diving deeper into this underworld type thing, she's obviously got a rage going on for Falcone. She needs to find him. She's trying to find and kill the dirty cop, which she almost does. And so she is working with Batman and actually kind of for Batman in earlier scenes, which is wild because he sends her in like an undercover agent. And he does have a degree of tech going on already, which confuses me. It really confuses me. Like I was saying, like she's working with him for like the majority of the movie and then they kind of hit a little split closer towards the third act because, you know, he's trying to track down the people and make them face justice, but she's trying to really enact true justice or whatever. Right? And obviously, she's the cat burglar. She, you know, she's not exactly on the side of justice and all that. And in this movie, Batman's working with the cops, like, completely. Now, they do kind of make the distinction that, like, I mean, he breaks out of the police station because he has to show up to a hostage situation at the funeral for, like, the second victim or whatever, right? And it's really crazy because he fucking tanks an explosion to the face, whatever, wakes up in the police station. And the nigga's just trying to take off his mask. No, I'm swinging on everybody, nigga. I'm swinging. Fuck. Back the fuck up. Alright? All them cops try to take off my mask. Alright? And they have big problems with Jim Gordon, obviously, because Jim Gordon is the friend of this freak, and everyone continuously calls him a freak as you go through the movie, which makes total sense, dog. And this nigga's walking up in the full-on bat suit, acting like he's a goddamn mercenary out here, okay? The thief in the night. And we're just supposed to act like this is some normal ass nigga. This is not normal behavior to go and dress up like that and go start kicking niggas' asses. But, you know, Jim Gordon's a real motherfucker. He know what it's about. He even actively helps him escape. Like, he slides some keys. He's like, you gonna have to hit me. And he's making it seem like he's, like, actually giving him the what to and the one for. No, he's not. Obviously, he's helping the man, okay? But I have to say, Riddler is just steps on steps on steps ahead in this movie. That's what you have to appreciate. That is what you have to appreciate, because Batman never really stops him. He even gives himself up later on in the movie. And bro, this nigga who played Riddler is fucking good. Fucking good. Alright? Because he was an orphan as well or whatever, right? And the whole thing that he exposes is that the charity fund known as the Renewal Project, that was basically set and made by the Thomas Wayne Foundation, where they were going to donate $1 billion to the whole infrastructure of Gotham and fix it back up. Obviously, take all the orphans out of the system and things like that, and really hit a reset button on the whole order of things as they were in Gotham. Well, come to when he died a week later, you know, from that point on, the families and all that were scrounging and grabbing for that fund, and it was the perfect cover in front for them to embezzle and move around their money and things like that and to fund their operations. So the Waynes just literally has started and funded pretty much the entire organized crime for all of Gotham. Obviously, it was going on before him, but what really gave it the boost, it was the Wayne family. So that's the conflict that Bruce is having throughout the movie. He's discovering that his father was not as clean as he thought he was. And so he's starting to finally, I think, make that distinction after Alfred comes damn near close to death, and he sees that Alfred obviously is a good man. And even though his father wasn't necessarily the greatest man, he still views him like a great man because he did make a mistake. And not everyone's perfect. That's what Bruce has to come to understand. Not even he's perfect. Not even he's perfect, dog. So it's just so much going on in this movie, dog. There's so much going on. Oh, what else can I talk about? Oh, the tech. Let me get back to the tech, because like I was saying, he sent Selena in to go and do undercover work. And let me say, Zoe Kravitz. All right. Top 5, officially. Okay. No question on that one. But she's got like a contact that he gave her that he wears himself, where he can record all video and footage coming from it like it's a live stream, dog. And he constantly runs that back, and that's how he's analyzing the murders he sees even when he's not there, because he literally has the footage because he's seen it. It's like, that's crazy. Is Lucius already in the fold? We need to know that. What kind of training did this nigga receive? We never get the answer to questions like this, because Alfred confirms that, like, yeah, he kind of taught him how to fight. Not really. Not like that. So, I mean, at least it doesn't seem that way. So, you know, there's a lot of mysteries about this Batman. A whole lot of mysteries. But I am kind of glad that we didn't, you know, do the same intro story that we've seen and redone many and many times. So I think that was a really good move on that one. Another thing, bro, like I said, just listen to the fans. All right, we don't need that intro thing every single time showing Bruce Wayne's origin story. We know it. We got it. Okay, we get what that is, right? The score, bro. Just the old classic Batman type shit. When we was really getting into them action sequences, like when we had the full car chase with Falcone, it's big, it's dramatic, it's boom, 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 boom. Like we going in, son. When he's coming down from the roof and he getting there, and he getting busy, he getting active with them niggas, yeah. Like that's what I'm talking about. It reminded me of like the George Clooney, you know, the animated series Batman shit where, yeah, it's dramatic and stuff, and it's a little over the top, but it fits so well. And let me just say the other part of the score. It really, really played up this romantic relationship between Batman and Catwoman. All right? And now, I enjoyed it too. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. She was a pleasure to watch. And their connection, I like it. I really, really do. But I'm glad that we got this, okay? We got it, and it's right here. And I'm hoping, yeah, I hope she'll come back. But for now, let's just stay away from that. Because what they set up at the very end, it's like, oh, leaves you so much hype, But, see, now I'm getting too hype. All right. Like I said, let her go ahead, go on, do her thing. She going over to Bloodhaven. Who knows what's going on over there? Like I said, this is a brand new Batman. So he got so much more room to grow. This nigga don't even know how to glide yet, my nigga. Like, he gets up on top of the motherfucking tower and he dives off to get away from the police and all that. And this nigga's got a whole squirrel suit. He don't even got his cape really right yet, so he can glide like that. And bro, his landing, rough as all get out. But I'll say his suit is clearly ridiculously reinforced. This nigga's walking through all types of shit. Like I said, he tanked a fucking explosion, basically point blank range. He had a nigga right here with an explosion, with a fucking explosive collar around his neck. And it fucking blew up right in front of his face. He tanked that shit. He walked through in the dark. Niggas lighting him up. Bang, bang. Didn't matter. Running through motherfuckers. Alright? The only thing I can say we didn't get in this movie that I would have liked is a formidable challenge to this Batman. But, obviously I think we're going to get that in the future with other villains that may come into play. Alright, I'll put it like that. I just can't say enough about Riddler, dog. The fact that he just kept talking so big, bro. It's like, it's what about us? What about the people like us that I forgot when he had the hostage situation going on and he had called him and homie started begging. He was like, shut the fuck up! Bro, that shit reminded me of freaking Silence of the Lambs, dog. That shit was too good. This person playing Riddler, even when he gave himself up, he was in complete control, dog. And he just, bro, just creepy as a motherfucker, man. And I like it. I really, really like it. I've always wanted them to give Riddler his just due. And man, I think on this one, they really hit it. They really hit it on that one. Like I was saying, this Batman isn't, I don't think you could put this Batman, as we see him right now, you can't put him in like a Justice League type setting, right? Because I think the separation's too far. He's too much base level to be at that level. But that's also the thing. Like, he's such a baby version of what he will likely become that you set it up, dog. You can have hella movies with Robert Pattinson going on doing this character for a fat minute, going up against hella different villains, because as of right now, he would have to step his game up heavy to deal with the superpower villains that we go up against. Because if you having trouble with Falcone and his niggas, right, and Penguin, because really and truly, you wouldn't accomplish half of the things that you did without without Riddler's help. Because he's the one that's literally working through you, exposing niggas. While he's exposing people on the political side, he's using you to get confession tapes and draw Falcone out and all that other stuff. It's like, it's crazy. And then he gets the satisfaction of watching it from Arkham. And it blows all the levees because he's attracted a following of his own, a whole cult-like following. It's almost the same type of shit that happened to Joker. And I know that Joker's not involved in this and not attached, not connected. DC, you be fucking up. All right? But I just think it's sick that people like, that you bring the social media element into it. All right? The tech wasn't super, super fantastical except for the surveillance shit that he has. His whip, it's like a super badass Challenger thing with like a jet engine on it, but it's not like the fucking Batmobile from the Christian Bale ones. That motherfucker's a tank. It's not like the motorcycle with the fucking wheel that does the whirling dervish over here, okay? It's not that. But he doesn't need all that. It's a basic bare bones Batman. But clearly, he has to already be somewhat working with Lucius to even have the shit that's already reinforced. Because his suit, like I said, was taking hella shots. And he's running up in places outnumbered like he don't give a damn. All right? It doesn't matter how many people was in there. We running up in that thing anyway. All right, but I'll say that I wish that... I wish that he wouldn't have quite gone so all the way back over to the left side. You know what I'm saying? Because he was descending to a point where he was, he's been letting motherfuckers have it out on these streets. But it seems like he's holding back less and less and stuff like that. But when he figured out this whole thing and it kind of opened his eyes with his father and his legacy actually being tainted like that, it kind of, I guess, took the weight off of his back to where he didn't feel like he had to be that version of himself anymore. Because now he's like, oh no, don't kill people. It's like he's saving people. He's not just dropping people like he normally was come toward the end scene. And he's even going out of his way, protecting the people, leading the people, going and grabbing the children's hand, the people who are slandering him publicly. Mayor Real, you get shot talking about she was backstage at Madison Square Garden and she talking about I'm not gonna stand back here. That's what's wrong with people like y'all. Y'all don't stand up to the people. Y'all just afraid of it. Well, I'm not afraid. Walked out onto the stage, looked up, snipers, bang, stupid woman. Get exactly what you deserve. How dare you? How dare you say that to Bruce? And it's crazy because you're not wrong with your perception, but that's why you need to shut the fuck up, okay? Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't believe everything you hear because you don't know shit, okay? You don't know what happens behind closed doors. So don't walk up to Bruce Wayne in the middle of a funeral talking about, hello, Mr. Wayne, I'm surprised you're out because, you don't do anything. You could be helping the city, but you do nothing. It's like, shut up, woman. Get up off your high horse for 1 second, but tangent. She played her role well. See, that level of disdain, I like that. For some random side character that really don't even matter in the grand scheme of it all. But I have to say this. We got skimped on our Alfred-Batman relationship. And I'm not saying that we didn't get a whole lot. Because we got a decent bit. We get their dynamic. Alfred's kind of playing that fatherly role for him, even though he tells Alfred repeatedly, like, you're not my father. And he's like, I'm well aware of that, sir. But, you kind of see that he had to play that role for Bruce because he needed it at the time. He needed a figure that he could look up to, someone who could kind of take on that role. And that is what he, consciously or unconsciously did for him. So that's kind of their relationship. But I think we did get spoiled by the Christian Bale Alfred, you know what I'm saying? And even, I would say, Jeremy Irons in the Ben Affleck's, his whole series through Justice League and Batman vs. Superman. I think that Alfred was really, really sick too because he was more antagonistic towards him, So there's a couple things that I think are a little bit lacking in this film, but I would say overall, in terms of like a full picture and a realistic Batman, I can't express that enough of how cool it was. Like, this is the Batman from the comics. Like, you're hearing the big dramatic music. His music puts the fear in you, just like how the villains are feeling, because you're hearing those violin strings in the background. And then the big action says, it's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the stuff we need, the detective mode. Him being with Selena, they have them little moments, and it's like a James Bond romance. Ow. You know, but hey, I loved pretty much every second of it, dog. I have to say that this movie, in terms of a rating, that's a tough one. What comes to mind? 8. This is an 8. All right. I wanted to say 9. But it's an 8. This movie did not have to be 3 hours long. This movie was 2 hours and 56 minutes long. Like I was saying at the beginning of the review, some of the camera shots that they did where they're focusing on characters for a long period of time after it's not really necessary, like when Batman walks into that house and then he sees the room where the kid's in, and obviously it reminds him of himself, and he stands there and he looks, you know what I'm saying? Or when Penguin's in the car that's been captured by the chase. That was a dope ass scene, like I said. He's in the car that's turned upside down, and then he's watching him, and he's coming. It's like, it's huge, and I love the dramatic effect of it and all of it, and it does actually give you like insight to some of the characters and other scenes, and really sets the tone of what they're going for. But I just think that some of that was a little bit too drawn out. I think that we actually did rely a little bit. Hey, don't come for me. This is how I feel. I just feel like we relied a little bit too much on, Batman, Catwoman. All right, Batman, you're on job. You're on job, baby. Go be on job. You ain't got time for no woman. Although I will say, the soul and the flesh is weak, because my good Lord, I have sinned, because I probably would have been the same way as him. So I don't really blame you, Robert Pattinson. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I know that we're all here to talk about it. Damn, I hadn't even thought about it myself. Where does this Batman rank in terms of all the Batmans? Because obviously that's the question that we're all here for. Now, I'll say this right now. I think you have an argument to say that this could be better than 3. I certainly don't think that this is better than number 2 of Christian Bale's. But I definitely think that this was better than number 1, for sure. And if we're doing a series, like I think we're probably going to do, then I would say we're starting at a much higher bar than what number 1 was. Now, let me explain. All right. Number 1 for Christian Bale is good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. There's so much good stuff. The way he actually goes, and we get to see him going off to train and all that stuff. Like, I love all that. It's good stuff. All right. But I just feel like this villain worked better for me than how Ra's al Ghul did. Because I think the most effective villain in that series was Joker, because he was messing over people with the plans that he was coming up with. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a physical force and go ham. Obviously, Bane was a motherfucking problem. Shout out to Tom Hardy, because I don't know. Number 3 is damn close to number 2. I feel like people disrespect number 3. But Riddler was making plans on plans, dog, and the way he would monologue, if you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price of your blind eye? Like, yeah, come on. That shit gives me hype every time. And bro, he would spaz out on people. And when they pinned him down and they was asking him all these questions, Bro, Batman came to interrogate him, and he basically called him out on everything that's happened, and he exposed to him how I'm the one that's basically been leading you down the path. You just been walking down it, son. This nigga started singing Ave Maria. Oh, the disrespect. The disrespect. Obviously, how do you take down a villain like that? Because there was no real way to stop him. But you know what you don't do? You don't give him the motherfucking satisfaction. Because this nigga started tweaking. This nigga started tweaking whenever he told him, you're actually nothing. You're pathetic. You did nothing. This is a delusion. It's all in your head. This nigga said, oh! That shit was, bro, this nigga was so on point. I can't express it enough. Riddler was motherfucking on point. Robert Pattinson. I can't say he's better than Christian Bale as of right now. Now, I know that's unfair. I know that's unfair because obviously we got 3 movies with Christian Bale. And we got the one with him. But I feel like you was really getting to dive into this Batman. And that's why we got the whole 3 hours worth of time. How obsessed he is. How he is mentally unstable. When he saves Selina in the end and he injects himself with what we think or what, not what, hey, all credit goes to my roomie, goes to me roomie, all right, Shawnee boy, because he put me on, dog. I'm not gonna lie, I've forgotten about this, but I was thinking about it. I was like, what the fuck is that drug? Because, you know, what was popping in my mind is like, oh, you know, the Joker's got his shit, but, you know, Scarecrow maybe out here, but, you know, it could be this, it could be that. But what about Venom X? The shit that was going all the way back to how Bane was way back in the day. Because all of a sudden, dog, he caught that second wind and he lost it on that motherfucker. I thought he killed that motherfucker, all right? Just that little amount. If they do bring back Bane and this shit, my nigga, whoa. It's going to be so hard. And then, obviously, Riddler gets locked up in Arkham. And then who do we hear in the cell next to him? Oh, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump the gun. But we obviously probably think that it's Joker. I think that's what the safe assumption would be. This nigga gets the, boy, he gets to laughing at the end. And he's talking about, it's okay. Don't be sad. And this is when Riddler's over there crying like a kid that's really like, bro, he can't take it. He's like, oh. This shit is hilarious. Like I said, excellent job on the part of the nigga who played Riddler. Excellent, excellent job. But that nigga was in the other side. He was talking, it's okay. You came so far. Look at all that you've done. It's nothing to be sad about. Yeah, don't worry. All you need is a friend. The people don't love anything better than a comeback story. Right, man. Oh, man. If those two team up, it's over. It's over with. Then the Penguin's going to rise to more power. That would be dope. Bring in more people. Hell, where's Fish Booty? Bring her in. I want her too. We got Carmine. You know, Maroni's out here somewhere. What about the other superpower villains, dog? Because if they tease Venom X, I assume we're going to start getting superpower villains. I know Batman has to level up. But if we get the other villains, dog, give me Freeze. Give me Freeze. Give me Scarecrow. Give me everybody, dog. Like, and they set it up by the end because Riddler ruined the city, dog. He flooded the entire city. His followers blew up. He had stationed 7 vans around the whole place, and while his followers distracted the police force and everything, they blew the levees around the city. Obviously, there's no real way to fix it right now. The city's having to send in the National Guard, and obviously that's not going to do nothing because the criminal element's going to fully take control. It's like a perfect setup for like how the game is. So, bring them all in. Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Freeze, Scarecrow, you got Penguin, Mad Hatter, bring him too, Mr. Pig. But bring me more of this, dog. Bring me more. I think it was dope. Robert Pattinson. I think he did a damn good job, man. I think he did a damn good job. For me personally, not Christian Bale. You're not Christian Bale. And I know some people may feel the way they feel about George Clooney and Adam West and Michael Keaton, all of them. This is the second best Batman. It's like, especially where we can go. That struggle in there. I feel that. I feel that. He's got a lot on his shoulders, but he's got the fire. And that was a damn good movie, but I've rambled long enough. What did you think about The Batman? It has been your boy T-Rav. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.